Alrighty, ladies and gents. I know most areas around the world, it's currently getting warmer. You guys are probably like, oh, get the snow away from me. But we got a very snowy map generation here on a map called Hideout, and we have a very clowny game with two civilizations and two players who are certainly no stranger to it. In the north, we have Tomate. Tomate is playing as the Spanish. And then in the south, we have Morg. And these players are not top 100. That's right. I say that because everyone's like, "Oh, T90 has 300 players in the top 100." I think Tomate has been there before, but top 200, maybe top 250. Their elo is actually at the bottom right there. So you got two different types of players. In the north, playing as the Spanish, we have Tomate, who is more of an all-around player. Okay, Tomate is a player who he likes to play a lot of Four Lakes. He likes to play a lot of Arabia. And it looks like in this case, he probably had one of those maps favorited and then had Arena banned. And Morg, who loves Arena, had Arabia banned or some other open map, and they ended up in the middle. So Hideout is a good little mix because you've got the opportunity to play defensive, but those walls are not going to be enough, like on Arena, to keep you safe from pressure. Now, if I were to make a top 5 list of civilizations for Hideout, I think Turks would certainly be in that top 5. I think Turks are one of the best. I really like playing Turks here. You could maybe say Cumans or what else would be good here? I don't know. I love those Britons. I think are top tier on this map. Maybe Goths if you want to be sneaky, because some people go Britons or some people go Mayans. But the Spanish are certainly close to that top 5 if you're going fast castle into conquistadors. It was very rare in our game. We have 42 civilizations, and yes, a lot of civilizations can get access to hand cannon, but there are not many unique units that are gunpowder. So we're going to have Turks, Janissaries, possibly, and then we could possibly have the conquistadors as well. That's pretty much my whole spiel here. But from what I know of Morg, in fact, this reminds me, I think maybe someone in my chat here can remind me if there was an African clearing upload over the last couple weeks with Morg, because if not, it's somewhere in the files. I gotta find it. Morg is known for his very well-executed all-ins. His arena players would joke about the well-executed part there, but trust me, he's a player who stepped away for a while, and he's very good at like 1 town center, 2 town centers, all in, all right? I think that's my spiel. That's pretty much everything I had to say. Seems as though the neutral gold could be a little unfortunate for Tomate. You've got your main resources, and then you're going to have resources outside. So you have 1 4-tile gold outside, and then there's 2 3 tiles per player. I mean, if this area is lost, Tomate's only working off of 1 extra 3-tile gold, whereas Morg down here has got, it's just a bit easier to access these resources. But I mean, that's pretty much the only thing you got to look at when it comes to Hideout. So my prediction here is fast castle for both of them. So we have a lot of time to chill. And I don't know when people on YouTube will eventually see this, but I know there's people here watching this live at the moment as we record this. And I want to say, get a little feelsy here. I missed you guys. I was away for a week. And I was feeling slightly burnt out as I left. I mean, I'm working on so much stuff right now. Where's this villager going? Oh, okay. I'm working on so much stuff at the moment, right? You guys probably heard the tease or the announcement of Red Bull, which is going to be coming back and going to be in Germany. Oh, hold a second. Scout fight. Scout fight. Morg is going to win. I'll tell you why later. Morg is going to win. 110%. I'll stop the recording if he doesn't win. See? Okay, well, that doesn't count because they both decided not to fight. Morg was going to win. And you want to know why I know that? Because I always go with the opposite of what my instinct is. My instinct is to go against my instinct because I always lose those fights. And for whatever reason, I thought Tomate was going to win. They both leave on 6 HP. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, I was just saying that there's a lot of stuff in the works for Age of Empires, a lot of events people are going to be running, a lot of stuff I'm going to be involved in. And I'm working on all this new content as well. So it was, a lot. And I still, honestly, have so much stuff to do. I'm still overwhelmed as I just sit here talking about it. But overwhelmed in a good way. And that week off, man, with my family, it was really nice to get a little bit of a break. My goodness, I was like on the flight back just thinking, oh, about all the different things I'm going to do. Hey, by the way, I have a story real quick before this gets started. I want to know what you as a viewer would have done in this situation, okay? So I was flying home, all right? And I have a window seat. And I have my headphones on. There's a guy next to me who also has his headphones on. Guy next to him also has his headphones on, and then there's the aisle, okay? They come around and they hand out, like, drinks, whatever you wanted, Coke, water, whatever. I declined. I already was prepared and had some water on me. Guy next to me gets a glass of water. Now, when I say glass, it's like it's I don't know what you would call, it's not a full-sized cup. It's like a literal cup of water, right? So he gets a cup, puts it on his little tray. Time passes. And I fall asleep. I'm having wonderful dreams about Age of Empires and placing farmers properly for once in my life. And it's a nice dream. And the people come up the aisle to collect the trash. Also, Morg, what do you... We have a farm next to the mill, and then the scout just kind of is standing here, which is kind of funny. Morg is crazy. Anyways. As they come by, I, like, kind of hear them. So I, like, kind of wake up a little bit. And this guy didn't want his water, I suppose. And he goes with his right hand, keep in mind I'm on his right, to go grab this full cup of water and smacks the cup off of the little tray and right onto my leg. Like, the water went from my knee all the way down to my sock. It was a lot of water because it soaked my sock, right? And I'm, like, half asleep. And so I, like, kind of jump a little bit. And I don't know how to really describe this. Oh, look at this. Morg's going to stone. Oh, we have stone over here for Tamate. We're going to have unique units. So anyways, I don't really know how to describe what my reaction was, but I kind of jumped. And then I, like, lifted up my hands to the side and looked down. You guys know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to describe that. I was like, what? And looked down. Now, I recall making a noise. I was like, ah, or something like that. The dude didn't even react. He just picked up his cup and handed it to the trash person. He didn't look at me. He didn't say anything. And I was full on expecting him to be like, oh, sorry, man. And then I would be like, it's okay. What are you going to do? And I would go back to sleep. But he just picked up the empty cup off the freaking floor. And no one noticed. And I was like, oh, do I bring attention to this now? All I wanted was for him to acknowledge it. It's like he didn't even know. Now, my question is, like, I didn't want to say anything to him because that's rude. You know, it already happened. Like, dude, you shouldn't have done that. That's not what I wanted. But I was just like, okay. So I just sat there and I let it dry on my leg. And I never said a word to him, never said a word to anyone. And that's basically what happened. Because then I would have had to get up. I would have had to grab a napkin. I was like, whatever, it's just water. And, oh, the scouts are going to win. I told you Morg's going to win, right? Okay, Morg's going to lose his scout. Not much you can do without potential escalation. I didn't want to escalate at all. I was just like, what would you guys do? I did nothing. I was just like, okay. Dude looked like a nice dude. He didn't even know. So I think he thought the water went to the floor. I think he thought the water went to the floor. So that's the story. And I'd never encountered that before. It was quite a big deal. My life is horrible, honestly. To have to experience that, my goodness, is my life hard. You know, some people out there, they've got to deal with much easier things in life. And I'm over here getting water poured on me. Come on. By the way, that's called sarcasm. Okay, so Morg opening up Castle Age. Time to focus on the game. Yeah, I felt the need to tell you guys that. The castle's going in an area that I probably wouldn't place it. I would have probably gone here, right? But it's almost like he's hiding the fact he's got a castle, which for that reason I like it. Tamate thinking like I would think. And he's placing his castle more towards the front. And we'd call it like this the front on either side, right? Morg lost his scout, which does hurt. And he could be assuming an awful lot, but Morg knows what his game plan is. And it's an interesting one. He's going to go for Janissaries, which are fairly expensive. And then also monks. Did you pee yourself? Don't people pee themselves when they get water when they sleep? Yeah, when I was like 10. Actually, 10 is pretty old. I might have just embarrassed myself. I did it when I was a child. That would be horrible if you just instantly wet yourself after getting water dumped on you. I feel like I would be pranking my friends all the time with that. So here's a good conversation here, right? So Conquistadors are, I think, the better unit on the more open maps, right? But the thing is, Janissaries, I mean, it's very complicated, actually. So Janissaries are better at the start if you micro them properly because you have 8 range and 17 base attack, whereas the Conks have 6 range, and I think it's 16 base attack. But Conquistadors are more mobile. Conquistadors you can get upgrades on, like Bloodlines, for example, which gives them more HP. So you can kind of choose when to take the fights if you have the Conks. Now, the thing that, you know, has stood out to me here is just the fact that we had a very early monastery for Morg. And then you'd have 9 range monks, and you could, in theory, convert a Conquistador from distance, which would be harder to do it against a Janissary. Okay, I'm glad we're talking about the game now. I veered off course with the whole thing. But I just felt that was so weird, man. Like, how'd this guy not notice? Anyways, 2-2 KD here. Morg, I explained it earlier. Not really the type of player to go for a lot of town centers. He's got some very interesting place farms. Also, doesn't have the wood upgrade either. Not really playing this as, yeah, maybe some other players would. But what he does so well is he consistently produces army. I don't have an idle counter for the military buildings, but you can see right here. This is idle, but there's 2 TCs producing vills. So it's a trade-off, right? One person has consistent army production, and 1 TC. My goodness, Morg, please make a mill. For the love of God, please make a mill there. And then the other player is, I forget what I said originally now, so I'm completely ruining my commentary. But yeah, you've got 1 TC versus 2 TCs. Tomate's probably thinking, well, I'm protected, right? I obviously got to make Conquistadors, but for now I'm protected. Now, Relic's always great in the long term. We've got a monk going this way for Tomate, so you've got to expect that he's going to get that. Might not look like he has the biggest villager lead, but remember, he did research Wheelbarrow, which takes about the time it would take to create 3 villagers when you research it out of the TC, right? Relics are always great. You get gold income from the relics, and that is a lot of Janissaries. And one of the... Man, these Morg's farms... Morg's farms are insane. But I'd say one of the stronger strategies that you can go for as the Turks is a fast Imperial Age, because you get chemistry for free. The chemistry takes very long to research. In fact, it's one of the longest researches. But it's also really important. So, you can notice now, Morg has stopped to produce Janissaries. And is even idling his TC. I don't know if it's intentional right now, but it kind of looks like it. As we have Loom for Morg, which will beef up his villagers a little bit. And it also tells us that maybe Morg is going to leave. Now, in the meantime, you have Tomate still producing out of the 2 town centers, but also he's gotten up to a pretty solid conk number. He's at 12 now. And this is where games can be decided. What we're going to see here is a fast in for Morg. Could go for a forward siege workshop, perhaps. And, you know, make bombard cannons to pressure this castle. But you have the Castle Age player, more villagers. Adding the stable now, then maybe get bloodlines, maybe get husbandry, which affect the conks. Guys, I love all-in versus boom. I love, like, all-in feudal versus early castle. I love Age of Empires 2 for a lot of reasons, but one of my favorite things is kind of the clash of styles. And I love how we have different players investing into different things, and there's pros and cons to every decision. It's beautiful. Which is why, if you ask me a question, the answer is, it depends. And it does depend. Here comes Morg. I'll explain this Palisade thing later if you guys remind me. You're probably confused by that. Those Janissaries hit. Very good hit. And you can see Tomate a little hesitant to move out now after losing 2 Conquistadors. Here come the villagers. Now, I think the key here, if you have enough army to fight the conks anyways, is you want to go for bombard cannon. I would say siege workshop. He's a little late with this, to be honest. A little late with this. Doesn't have as many farmers now. There's a monk. Harder to do this against the Janissaries because monks have 9 range. And the Janissaries have 8. 1890, when doesn't it depend? It depends. Okay, the stone has been purchased. We have another castle. This is good too, right? This is good too. But imagine if there was a siege workshop. The first thing you could do in early imp is make a bombard cannon. All right, so at the moment, Tamate doesn't know about that castle, but he's probably seen the score. And guys, that score can tell you everything. When you're up against a clown, as we call it, sometimes that score tells you just enough. Castle is not complete, but those monks are going to be there, plus the Janissaries. And now this is where Tamate feels like he has to stop this, right? He probably wins the game if he clears up this army and denies the castle. So he goes in for the fight. A few of the villagers are actually getting hit, and will this fight be good enough for Morg? Tamate, so close. 25 villagers now. And he's converted quite a bit here. This is not bad so far. Bombard cannon would, of course, die if it were to encounter the conquistadors here. And we've just got gunpowder v gunpowder. Imagine if there would have been 2 castles for Morg to produce more Janissaries. Also, just having the castle protection would be huge here. Trying to look at the HP. Obviously, this also selects the villagers. And the bombard cannon, Morg! Well, he's going to have to make Morg of those. Woohoo! Funny, funny, funny. More villagers also have to come on the way from Morg. And that hurts, right? That hurts. The only thing that Morg really has going for him now is the fact he's in the Imperial Age. So he obviously has to hope that he can utilize that with bombard cannons and trebs. And while you can get elite Janissary and things like that, it's just not on the cards here. There's no way you're going to be able to get elite Janissary when you've got 10 farmers at home and the farms look like that. That said, there's a lot of weak conquistadors here. And there's also some monks coming out. And Turks aren't necessarily known for having fantastic monks. But monks still can help out. And look at that. That's a full HP one converted. And then he snipes his friend. Didn't like him anyways. Now you've got to make a decision if you're Tamate. You've got to go for either Janissaries or the villagers. If you go for the villagers, then Janissaries kill your conks. And if you go for the Janissaries, then the castle goes up. 37 villagers versus 73, though. There's not too many conks. Now, meanwhile, Tamate's on the way to the Imperial Age. Great job from him to be able to do all of this and also go up to Imp. But he might need to tech switch here, guys. This castle is going to complete. His micro is actually... Wow, Tamate's micro has been exceptional. What's the eco KD here? He's killed 11 villagers. And at what cost? It feels like Tamate should be red. True, I didn't think about that. And so now he's no longer has conquistadors. Okay, so here's the beautiful thing about Morg's position. Feels crazy to say, because look at the vill count! It's 37 villagers versus 73. Pretty wild. You don't see that every day. Great thing again about Janissaries is that Janissaries have very good base stats, similar to the conks. You know, you've got all that attack, all that range to work with. So you don't really need upgrades. You just need to focus on the numbers of them. And then any counter to Janissary, someone just mentioned skirms, any counter to Janissary gets countered by bombard cannon. So skirmishers would actually not work. So what you have to do in these types of situations is you have to like brute force your way to victory by just being able to mass more because you have an incredible economy. And we're going to see Tamate now. He's repairing this. It feels a little inevitable, doesn't it, that he's going to lose this castle. But he's repairing this. He's getting the Imperial Age armor for his for what's going to be Cavalier here. Now, this is also unique. He's actually sending units around here. There's only a castle at home to protect Morg. And Morg actually has to come out here to get gold. I don't even know if Morg is paying attention to that. An all-in play. The vill count is insane. But the idle time's also insane. And it's 33 kills versus 32 right now. Tamate still buying time. But you guys will probably be able to relate to this. There's nothing quite as bad as getting housed in this type of situation. He might be making houses over here, but it kind of looks like he needs the numbers right now. He's going to lose this castle and he knows it. And boom, pop capped. Stress. I will explain the palisade thing when we... Actually, we have an opportunity. Basically, villagers path a bit differently. If you just click them to a spot, they kind of like move around. So a lot of, and I don't know if that's even been changed. Here come the panic houses. But it always used to be that way before DE, and so a lot of the classic players will build something, usually a palisade, and that palisade means they go in a straight line. Okay, so Morga's microing here. No reaction here. No reaction here. Are you kidding me, man? Meanwhile, he's taking out Blue's base. He's taking out the main TC. He still hasn't reacted here. If we were to just clip this minute, you guys might think this is Loey the Legends. And okay, we finally have the reaction. And Town Center! Quick wall! Quick wall! Okay, well, he can't really quick wall that much. Ripperoni, this is going to hurt his eco so much. But he's still got this, guys. He's still got this. So this is not really a base trade. But this is something close to it anyways. And there's going to be very few farmers for Blue. This is where all the farms were. Look at this. 30 farms have to be abandoned. And now you've got to place a million more farms, and now you have to hope he doesn't continue to kill you. So Morg will complete the TC. He's going to need army here, though. It feels like he's mainly relying on monks, though. Like, he's going to need every conversion he can get. And yep, here come the old men. The old men are walking home to deal with this. But thankfully, he did get chemistry for free, so he's doing a little bit of damage here, but still has to focus so much on the front. And this is crazy, man. This is crazy. Tomate's going to lose another TC. Now, is this enough to engage against these Janissaries? It feels like he's close to it. But he's losing his entire base. And Morg's got this crazy scenario at his base. And Tomate's going to make a run for it. He's like, I got the vill count. I just need to have my villagers actually working. It looks like he's only got like 40 villagers working of his 75. Not to mention he's going to lose his relics, which is the only golden come he has. Guys, as Morg garrison. Oh, well played, Morg. Morg brings the monks home. Remember what I talked about with the gold. Tomate's got no gold now. Also, he's passing this monk. That's kind of funny. And this finally gets dealt with. Okay, that is a lot of knights, though. And what you could do with better wood and food eco is you could sell. And finally, these knights are going to take an engagement. And the monks are at home. So this is a great surround here from Tomate. He doesn't have 5 or 6 monks to convert him here. It's only 1 or 2. And that's a pretty good fight for him, but it's still not looking too great at 90 population. I think if he's able to kill the monks, he's going to be pretty good about, feel pretty good about this situation. And oh yeah, he does clear it. That leaves bombard cannons exposed. That's going to leave the trebs exposed. Morg at 61 pop, and Morg about to lose the siege, and this is going to swing right back. Nice shot from Morg there. I don't know if he noticed that was the full HP one, but he got it. Sadly, though, still could lose his siege. Tomate's over here. Has a monk. Oh, sorry, that's Morg's monk. Morg looking for conversions. These monks looked like freaking zombies running over here, man. They just came out of nowhere. I swear, the clowns and their monks are just hilarious to me. And Morg's like, okay, I need more Janissaries. I need more monks. So Janissary monk, Janissary monk, Janissary monk. So again, like, ideally, I think light cav would actually be decent, but skirmisher would be strong as well. And here comes Morg. I think this is a spectator thing, by the way. I don't think he knew there was a farm there until a moment ago. Yeah, now he knows. And now he runs in, but there's a castle here for Tomate, so he won't be able to run too far. See if any conversions could come in here. And you see how Morg switched to the full HP one there? He's paying very close attention. That TC is going to be denied. Meanwhile, this town center is shooting some of the units, some of which used to be Tomate's. This is crazy! I don't actually know who wins this game, by the way. Some of these games, which I hunt down for what I call games of the week, which is actually like games of every few weeks, because I'm always late to it. Some of them I've seen before. This one I only read about. I'm not actually sure who wins. I want to say that Morg wins from the position I'm looking at, but I have a lot more faith in Tomate if this gets crazy. Tomate, I mean, his peak, he's a 2K1, maybe 2K2 player. So he is, I think, the better player here. Plus, he's got a 30 vill lead, and he's really starting to farm a lot here, though she just got converted. But, I mean, what happens if you start to lose this castle, right? This is crazy. Another TC for Tamate. He's lost his main base, guys. He lost his main base. Here come the Knights, not Cavalier. Keep in mind, he is in the Imperial Age. He does at least have the Imp armor. I feel like getting a few attack upgrades would be good because Spanish blacksmith upgrades don't cost gold. Morg really needs to get a big mass, and that's exactly what Tamate needs to stop him from doing. Tamate continues to chew up the units every time he sees them. And it's a tough situation because some people are going to think, well, why... Some people are going to think, why is there a knight and a monk here? But no, you know, it's easy to say that maybe Morg shouldn't be taking these engagements, but he's behind in villagers, so you should kind of be taking engagements before the enemy's economy gets stronger. So, my goodness. So again, the gold situation is dire right now for Tamate. Really awkward for him. I'm looking around to see where he can take gold. It says that he has villagers on gold, but I don't see it. Oh, wait, yeah, of course. I just saw this a moment ago. My bad. Push continues. Morg is going to drop off these relics. Turks also mine gold a bit faster. And Morg, is he going to loop the whole way to the... Dude, just make more buildings here. Make siege. Like, try and support this side. Don't run across the map with, like, the slowest possible unit you can make. He's running his monks back over there. I just love it. It's so funny, man. It's so funny. And he clearly knows that he needs a little more, right? There go the monks. They walked all the way over here before. And here they come again. Lycav, I think, is a good addition. We've got 39 farms for Tamate. And Lycav, it resists the conversions from the monks. So they can kill those monks pretty easily. The problem is Lycav do a lot worse against the Janissaries. Now the Janissary number is getting stupid high. Like, I think once you've got 30 of them, the opponent can't kill you with Knights. It should maybe even be Cavalier, as we see the Cavalier upgrade. And wow, the Knight gets converted there, and there's a Treb, and this is going to force a reaction immediately. This Knight, I mean, you have to credit Morg. He continues to micro around. We've got Tamate making buildings over here. Tamate's farming eco is incredible now, but he's going to need this castle. And I'm looking at his numbers. I'm liking the upgrades that he's getting. But to me, it feels like he's going to lose this castle. Oh, actually, he's got knights in there. Ooh, man. It's crazy. All 5 relics belong to Morg. There's no relic victory here in ranked games, which is a little sad, but I get it. Why no Mangonel? Mangonels get wrecked by siege. Or, sorry, by siege. I'm dumb. By Janissaries. One hit does not one-shot a Janissary, if I'm not mistaken, and then the monks would just heal him up. They actually outrange the Mangonels. And look at this. Morg knows something's about to happen here. He knows something's up. He knows he's put his opponent in a position where he needs to address this. And look at these gates. Now, the gates should be attacked by Tamate here. You shouldn't just sit around. The Lycav swoop in. And the Lycav are going to kill the monks. And the Trebuchet, at the very least, is going to go down. But that, to me, actually seems like a pretty good fight for the Janissaries, right? They've been getting a lot of free hits. And the Trebuchet doesn't go down. Wow, that was incredible for Morg. He brings... Here come the monks! The monks arrive! They're like, sup, boys? It's been a while since we converted somebody. Let's bring some people to Jesus, you hear me? And here they come. Now, over here, I guess Morg was on stone. And he's starting to get raided from this side. And this is crazy. That weak knight finally dies. That's been around a while. And if Tamate looks, he could actually find some gold down here. But look at the army number now. It's 45, and that's 30 Janissaries. This is definitely where you would need to have skirmishers, I feel. Which is especially awkward because you just donated Cavalier to your opponent, so now that kind of helps them there. You don't think the Turk monks are bringing people to Jesus? That's, okay, I didn't think about that. That's true, but I think you know what I mean, and there goes the Trebuchet. As we have a siege workshop from Tamate. Tamate's got 42 farmers. Tamate has gold income, okay? Tamate still has the castle up. Tamate is quite a few blacksmith upgrades away from getting enough skirms where he'll feel comfortable. But I think with this stone, could actually repair this for a while. There's only one Treb. We'll see if Tamate wants to hold on here. But man, this is crazy! Now, Morg, he got raided here, so he's thinking, let's just add a town center to protect it. But all of his pressure is being swung around to here, as it should. So I actually really like this decision. And I love the decision from Tamate, who's going to get capped ram, and he's going to freaking push this. And he doesn't know the TC's there yet, but that should be an easy kill. Keep in mind, Tamate has a 50 villager lead now. 140 pop versus 120. Yeah, I get it, Alpert. Thank you. We don't need to get into all the religious aspects. Just making some jokes. But my word, it's like you can't kill this right now. And so this is what Tamate needs to do. He needs to push here. Because what happens is, Morg will have to react. You have to make Morg respect it. Morg is going to lose these Janissaries. It's clear he didn't expect this. Villagers here for Tamate could go down, but this TC is going to be a goner. And if the TC is going to be a goner, the walls could be a goner. And if the walls are going to be a goner, the castle could be a goner. And now suddenly you're going to start to see a lot of stuff for Morg stay here instead of go forward. I love how Morg kept the Cavalier alive and healed them up. That's going to be so nice against those skirmishers. But these villagers are getting destroyed. And I talked about the multitasking. We have a castle from Tamate! He's got to hold on here. Wouldn't this be sick if both players lose ground again? If blue loses all of this, and then red loses all of this. It honestly is going to come down to who can reboom the fastest. I mean, maybe. It's also who can kill the fastest, because Morg's got a much stronger army right now. And also, this farming eco is not too far away. It took a long time to place those farms. Morg has no response to this, though. Holy rams, it's so many. He actually is going to lose this castle. Janissaries are actually not great against rams. And so Morg's got to get moving here. And look at this. We actually have a TC for Morg. So I think he's running. Yeah, there he goes. He's running over there to town center that. So I love this play from Tamate. Though you're forcing enough reactions, you're going to get enough kills. Now you have to group up and you have to deal with this. He's being as stubborn as possible, but the population still tells me Morg can win this game. Morg's got 60 army. And he's got the siege. And now these villagers have to leave. And these villagers are getting their steps in today. My goodness, another TC goes down. These villagers are going to make their way to over here. But Morg is losing the greater portion of his eco. And if you look at that vill count, while a lot of the villagers are running right now for Tamate, he's still got all of this and all of this working. I just don't know if that's enough to kill this many Janissaries. Yeah, Morg is definitely not a boomer. Morg is an aggressive player. And Tamate, with the perfect call to raid this side, has definitely hurt him with that. Oh, the light cav are owning. Oh, this is huge. It's 140 pop versus 80. Morg could take more losses here. This is definitely the downside of having to be in one spot all the time, right? That said, I mean, it's not looking that great for Tamate here. He is going to lose all these farms, but he's just going to add another TC. He's running around and around and around in circles. This is where you start to worry because you see this number of skirmishers and you know his eco is much better. That's technically a counter unit. But guess what? They still die to Janissaries because Janissaries have amazing base attack. Not to mention that Cavalier in there. I think Morg will actually be fine. But it's 25 villagers for Morg. It's funny, he lost the 3 relics at his base after he stole the 2 on the front from the enemy. So maybe Tamate can take that. Tamate snipes at Treb. Meanwhile, he's losing his ranges. He's being attacked by a bear. These villagers all are being chased by gunmen. You've got Janissaries here who ran into the TC. It's 70 pop versus 100 pop. This is insane. This is insane. We've got a castle here for Tamate. That could be Treb down. That could also be denied by the Janissaries, to be honest. But I can understand that Morg is a little distracted right now. I really hope we see the relics go into Blue's hands. That would be so funny to me. He used to have, what, 40 farmers? And now Tamate is at 12. And this Cavalier owning all of his skirms, he's clearly stressed. But he did get this castle up, so at least denies that stone from Morg. I think this is key. You need your production buildings here, if you're Morg. I think you need to somehow kill these rams. I don't know how he can do it, but that's going to be key here. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. The Trebs are rolling over here. Blue's got like 40 vills, guys. This is insane. This might be the best game of the year so far. I mean, what, 5 months? Yeah, it's up there. This is insane. Tomate is... Look at the map. He's all around it. He's everywhere. Just look at the mini-map. That's probably the best way to show it. But, guys, Morg has 18 villagers. So, that's just not going to lead to him producing a lot more. And he needs to continue to kill and continue to pressure as he gets his castle up. This is unreal. I hope T90 didn't forget about High Elo Legends because this fits the series. No, it definitely does fit. The whole idea of High Elo Legends was to do players that weren't quite like top 100 and cast some awesome games. And this is definitely High Elo Legends territory. But it's also like a completely different title territory. Because what is this? Morg can't even make farms? Sure. But Blue doesn't have town centers. He doesn't have a town center, man. I still feel like this is the key for Tomate. He's got enough here to possibly take the castle out. Morg has gold, which I think he's going to have to buy food now. It's full-on market abuse. This is the safest TC spot that Blue could think of. Meanwhile, villagers got massacred. And, you know, these villagers still working, and Morg doesn't have working villagers. Here it comes. You've got a Treb on this side. We've got another Treb. This could be it, actually. Morg, he is killing. Wow, that's a castle if I've ever seen one. Blue just drops a castle confidently and says, what are you going to do about it? He reclaims his base. He reclaims his base with the castle. He's like, hey, this is mine. And the GG is not called, but I'm sure there was a GG there. Wow, what a game, dude. What a game. It's funny. I kind of wish Morg would have played on a little bit longer. Because looking at the resources for Tomate... Okay, I mean, he's going to ram down all of this. But it's not like Tomate can afford to make a lot of military. All the military he's making would cost food. But Blue started here and went counterclockwise around the entire map. That was ridiculous. I've never... I mean, there's something to be said about base trade games, and this was more than that. It was a base trade into a trip around the world there for Tomate, and what a victory it was. I think the key for Morg, and we kind of touched on it, the key for him was there were a couple fights where he lost his numbers. There's one in particular, I think he had like 20 Janissaries and 3 monks. I think it was the very first one. If he has a little bit more there, and he can get to that crucial ball of 30 or 40 Janissaries maybe 5 or 10 minutes faster. And then he ends up steamrolling Blue. And then Blue is worse off, so Blue isn't able to hit his base later with the Light Cav and the Rams. That was fantastic. Okay, let's look at the resources brought in. I mean, that's also the beauty of commitment for Morg. Sure, he didn't get the win. You can kind of tell how he's able to punish people. And why he has that reputation. There it is. Has way less wood. Has way less food. But had 14,000 gold and had a lot of gold units there for a while. I mean, his units did work. You can't argue with that. 205 kills, 215 losses, pretty much even. Also, the relics brought in most of the gold difference. And that was such a good game. That was so much better than I expected it to be. And there's the APM. It is funny to look at the military APM. Makes sense. This is where I don't really trust APM that much. I do not see how Morg can average the same eco APM. APM stands for actions per minute. It's apparently effective actions per minute. But Tomate was placing farms like crazy. I don't know how this is the same. This makes sense to me. But anyways, looks like they were of similar speed. That game ends with 170 population out there. And a total of 6 working farmers on the entire map. Ridiculous. And I don't know what we have to say about this. I don't know what I'm going to title it later, but hopefully the YouTube algorithm will choose well and pass this along to a lot of people because that was a heck of a game.